Hey everyone, how's it going today? This is Chris at Realridesharestories, and if you've been thinking about becoming a rideshare driver or even in the process of doing it, then this video is for you. So you've been thinking about driving for Uber or Lyft or both, or even in the process of becoming a rideshare driver, then there's a couple of things to go over, and I'm going to cover this in this video today. So there's definitely the perks and the good things about it, so I'm going to cover that first. Then there's the bad side, which I'm going to kind of talk about that, and then just the requirements itself. So we're going to cover all that in this video, and then hopefully that'll help you make your decision a little bit easier. All right, so the good things about being a rideshare driver is the first thing, you get to make your schedule. There are no bosses telling you have to be there at a certain time. There's no time requirements that says you have to be from here to here at this point. No, it's whenever you're free, whenever you don't have anything going on. So let's say your job is from, let's just say 3 to 11. If you want to go out in the morning, you can. If you want to go out again later at night, you can. It really doesn't matter. There is no restrictions on time on when you want to make your own schedule. You can do it as little as you want or as much as you want. But yeah, that is the best thing about it, is that you can go out and do it whenever you want. Then the other thing is you get paid for it. I mean, who doesn't like getting paid for doing something that they're doing? And I look at it as, I could either be out spending money or I could go out and make some money. So I choose the latter, and it's pretty cool also because you get to meet different people. You get to see different parts of the area that you've never really expected to see, just because it's out of your norm. So it's kind of cool to mix things up. It's really cool to meet different people. I've actually made friends out of it, so it's a pretty cool process that way. So yeah, if you wanted to sign up for Uber or Lyft, check my referral link down in the description below, and you can get some bonuses for driving. So check that out. So let's go to the bad side. Now the bad side is that you don't really know what you're getting into until you're actually doing it. For the most part, the rides are pretty basic. It's pick somebody up, drop them off. Sometimes there's very little communication between you and the passenger. Sometimes, it's an entire conversation. So it really just depends. There's so many different things. So you just kind of got to prepare for all the different things that could happen. The bad thing is there's no real training. Sure, there's a few videos and tutorials on what to do, but there is no real training, and it's just kind of fill out the application, wait the time, and then, hey, here's a couple videos in the meantime on a very brief explanation of everything, and then, hey, here you go, you're ready to drive. So that's kind of the downfall for a new driver. But make sure you subscribe to this channel, and I'm going to go through a couple of different things in between all the other videos as well too, just on the education of things to help drivers out, and how to handle situations as well. So again, make sure you subscribe if you haven't yet. There's also a lack of transparency between the company that you may be driving for and yourself. They make changes and they do things all the time. They do things that'll seem to counteract what is in the terms and conditions. So it's just this thing where communication needs to be better from the company that you decide to drive for, and being able to get that information. All right, you also got to make sure you stay informed on the scams that happen, which I've done a video on a couple of scams already, so you want to make sure you check that video out. I'll probably be adding a couple more, but you definitely want to stay on top of what can happen on people trying to scam you out of money or just creating problems in general. You definitely got to be in accordance with all the laws in your area, because that can cause some real legal problems that you don't want to take care of or you don't want to even be part of. So knowing those things beforehand is definitely going to help you. You also definitely need to know the terms and conditions for either company that you work for, just to know what's allowed, what's not allowed, what to look for, what not to look for, how to report things, this, that, and the other thing. The terms and conditions are pretty specific, and you just got to make sure. So like no driving unaccompanied minors. If there's children involved, if they need car seats, that you have to make sure that they have car seats. Now, you don't have to actually provide them, but the person that's in that ride has to provide them. If not, then, like things like canceling the ride and explaining to the passenger that these things are in place and this is the reason why you can't do a ride share at this particular moment. But if you don't know those things and you end up taking them, if the child was too small and wasn't driving in a car seat and you get pulled over, you might get a ticket. If you're breaking terms and conditions by driving an unaccompanied minor, you are at risk at being or deactivated. So these are definitely things that you really need to pay attention to. Also, if you aren't the type of person that likes to talk to people or likes to converse, this job isn't for you. And I say the term job loosely because it's really an independent contractor. You're not guaranteed rides. You're not guaranteed a certain amount per hour. You're not guaranteed any of this. This is a per ride basis. And if nobody decides to order a ride, hey, guess what? You're not going on any rides. Or if there's too many drivers in the area. So just make sure you stay aware of those things. And that's kind of the bad side and the drawbacks. But if you do enjoy talking to people, if you do enjoy driving around, if you do want to see the area in a different way and you want to meet different people and just have a fun time, rideshare is definitely an option for you. Make sure to check the link in the description below if you do want to drive, and you'll get referral bonus if you sign up and start driving. Now I want to talk about the requirements of rideshare. So I do have my notes right here, so I am going to look down at it, but I do just want to make sure that I have everything specifically out for you. So let's talk about what the driver requirements are for each company. I'm going to start off with Uber. Uber and Lyft are very, very much the same. There's really only one major difference between the two companies of their requirements, but I'm just going to go through them each for you so you know. So if you want to drive for Uber, just to make sure, you do have to be 21 years of age. You have to be licensed for at least 1 year. You have to have a 4-door vehicle. It has to be at least 10 years or newer. Certain areas do allow for 15 years or newer, so you do have to check, and you can check on Uber's website itself. It will ask you the information, you can plug it in, and it will tell you if that's accepted or not. So if you have a newer vehicle, great, you're already right there. But if you have a vehicle that's 10 years or up to 15 years old or older, then you're kind of in this spot where you got to either get a new vehicle. You might be able to do it within the 10 to 15 years in a specific area, or you're SOL, essentially. You have to have your own insurance. You have to have a license in the state. You have to have the plates and registration for your vehicle as well. All of that information is uploaded to Uber. They review that documentation to make sure that you are in good standing. They also do background checks that you have to pass, as well as a driving record that you have to pass. So if you fail any of those, you won't be accepted as a driver. For Lyft, it's pretty much the same thing. You got to be 21 years old. You got to be licensed, again, at least for 1 year. You have to have a 4-door vehicle, and it has to be from 2006 or newer. So it can't be anything older than 2006. It has to be 2006 and newer. And you definitely want to check back, because if maybe you're looking at this next year, right now we're in December 2018. So, hey, you might be checking this video out next year. So again, just check the requirements and make sure they're up to date so you can be a driver if you'd like. Again, you have to have your own insurance, a license that's in your state, plates and registration, and you got to pass the background check and driving record check. And I'm sorry, both companies do require a Social Security number as well too, and that's for tax purposes. So you got to remember that you drive your vehicle, so you need to make sure your vehicle's in good working condition. There are certain requirements too that you need to have for your vehicle. Basically, as long as it passes inspection, then you're going to be all right. And just take care to make sure that it's safe, it's clean on the inside. That's another thing too, is to make sure your car's clean while you're driving, just so people are coming in, going out. And if you're a passenger watching this video, make sure you clean up after yourself. I don't want to clean up after you. You need to have a cell phone, a smartphone. You need to be able to understand that when you use your phone, you're using GPS and maps, and you're going back and forth between the data of Uber, the company, and your phone. So you are going to use quite a bit of data for your phone. So that is one thing definitely to keep in mind. So if you have a low gigabyte plan, or if you pay by the gigabyte, you might want to upgrade to a higher plan or a unlimited plan depending on your network, just so you don't incur certain charges. Also, the maintenance on your vehicle, you just got to make sure you get the oil changed properly, the brakes are done at the right time, your tires are kept up. Anything that deals with the car safety and car maintenance, just make sure it's where it should be. So your vehicle's running in peak efficiency, you're getting the best gas mileage, and the risk of breaking down while driving is at a very minimal amount then. And then there's a quick disclaimer that I want to talk to you about. Again, as I hinted earlier, you are an independent contractor. You are not a paid employee by the company that you decide to work for. You are independent contractor. That means that when you fill out your taxes, you are filling out a 1099 form versus a 1040 form. And there are big differences, because one is an employee relationship to an employer, and one is a relationship where you are a business owner and you are being paid for services by another business. So there are many differences. One of the big things to keep in mind, that you do have a lot of tax deductions that you can claim. Now, I am not a tax preparer, but there are many tax benefits to being a 1099 employee. So the big thing is, like, track your mileage, keep your receipts, any car maintenance issues that you had to deal with, keep those receipts. Just any expense that you can think of while you were driving, make sure you hold on to that. Bring it to a tax preparer for you and sit down and talk with them, and they'll be able to fill in all the proper deductions for you as a driver, so you can keep more money in your pocket and less is going to go to the government. And that's a win in my book. Again, as I said, with being a independent contractor, though, there are a couple of drawbacks if that's what you think, which some people think this can be, and that is you don't get health benefits through any of the rideshare companies. You have to provide your own, and if you have a job where another job that pays for that, cool. If not, then you have to provide your own health insurance. There are no retirement benefits or anything, so there's no 401k or any perks like that. It's either you're out on the road driving, making money, or you are not. It's that simple. So there's no paid time off, there's no leave, there's nothing like that. It's just you're working when you're working, getting paid for the rides that you take. And when you're not taking any rides or you're not online, you're not getting paid for it. So that is a big, big thing to realize and understand. And if you want to understand what independent contractor is more, just Google independent contractor, Google 1099, talk to different tax preparers, and they'll be able to tell you quite a few different things as well. All right, so that is the good of driving. That is the bad of driving, and then the requirements as well. So I hope that helped you out a little bit. If you have any questions, please write in the comments below and I'll help to answer them. But that is just a quick overview of things for yourself. Now, all in all, I'm going to be completely honest with you right here, right now, no bull. I enjoy rideshare. I think it's really cool. I like talking to different people. I enjoy the interaction. I enjoy getting paid. And I really like the fact that it's very flexible and the fact that I can do it when I want. I can do all of my other projects. I can do any family time, friend time, whenever I want. And I'm not tied down to a specific schedule. So that's a really great thing. Do I recommend it? I do for several people who want to do it. But again, like I said, if you don't like talking with people, if you have a thin skin, or if you're just worried about certain things, this thing's not for you. And that's okay. It's not for everybody. But yeah, like I say, so if you're thinking about it and you have any other questions, please comment below. If you enjoyed this video, give a thumbs up. Please subscribe and ring the bell for notifications, and you'll be notified every time a new video is uploaded. And that's it for this video. We'll see you next time. Still watching? That's all right. This video might be over, but the fun doesn't have to be. Video up top, if you click that, that'll take you to the last video that we just did. And the video down below is what YouTube thinks you should watch. If you're not a subscriber yet, make sure you hit the subscribe button right over here. And we'll see you next time.